Good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to the Esoteric Influences for today. As you know, if you were here yesterday, I'm taking these out of the Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune Reading and giving them their own space. And it was just taking too much time, and I wanted to always get on with the reading. It's like I'm feeling this pressure to hurry up, get on with it. So anyway, if there's things that align with the reading, then I'll mention them. I'll keep them up on the screen when I'm doing that. But like I'm going to do here today. But know that this comes from the weekly esoteric influences that I post over on Stepping Aside at my blog over at imsteppingaside.com. If you want to read the whole thing, you can go over there. There'll be a link to it below the video here, so you can check that out if you like. And but otherwise, I'm just going to go through each day. I'm going to go through numerology, where the moon's position is, what the rune for the day is. And that's based on me drawing them, by the way. And then also what the human design influences are for today. And that's a system where it's a system where they combine planetary positions with the I Ching. And so anyhow, it's a really fascinating system. And so I recommend you check it out. It's called Human Design. And anyway, it's very cool. So, but let's go ahead and get started. Today is a 9-day. So 9 is usually about endings and completion and things like that. Kind of as one door opens, or one door closes, another opens. You kind of get in that shift between the 9 and the 1. Tomorrow it'll be the 10th, and so it'll be a 1 energy. So you can see that it's a transitional phase really between the 2 days. It's kind of a Degas moment. That's the 23rd rune of the Elder Futhark, where one phase ends and the new begins. So the one side would be the 9, and the other side would be the 1. So you can kind of see how that flow of energy is. But today, we want to be open to new opportunities and new directions should they come up. Lots of things are changing right now. You're seeing spikes in the virus. That's one thing that's not so good. But you're also seeing people out protesting about something that matters. And most of them anyway, it looks like, are wearing masks. So I think that we're finally getting on a shared path here that's maybe more out in the open than maybe it was before, because I think we were all there anyway. But right now, we have this bigger cause than just this virus, because we have to survive more than the virus, right? We have to survive the effects of racism, because that's as big a virus as the COVID virus is, maybe even bigger, because it's had a massive effect on who we are and how we live and how we experience our world. And now we have issues with the police that are so out of control. Anyway, we're going to get to some of that when we get down to the human design stuff. But as we see here, the rune for today is Othala. And I think that it really speaks to what I'm talking about here. As the struggle between police, the federal government, and the citizens of this country continues, who we are to each other is in focus, as is who we can trust. A shared direction is required, one that projects all that we've built together instead of the chaos caused by both an out-of-control law enforcement community and an increasingly confused and dangerous federal response. Othala is an earth element rune. It's about sacred space and ancestral heritage. It's about our Akashic record, all of the life's lessons that we acquire while we're here. We come into these forms each time with an overall theme of what we're going to learn. And maybe that's true for all incarnations, and we just play different parts each time. I don't know. But there's an overall theme as to what we're doing and all of the things we're supposed to be learning. But it's not just an individual experience. It's collective in nature. We're all one in source energy. When we're in non-physical, there might be individual resonances and energy signatures, but make no mistake about it, we merge together as one. And so to think that we shouldn't do that here, to think that we can't learn the lessons that we need to learn to give back to the collective, to the source presence for greater awareness of what life is like in tangible form, the struggles that we go through, to think that we can't do that unless we're like this, oh please, yes we can. Each of us is an extension of source energy. Why wouldn't we be able to? See, this we bought into a scam and a lie a very, very long time ago and became subservient. And out of that, all of this nonsense came, right? We forgot who we are as source energy. So anyway, Othala is about, it's also about protection, prosperity, balance, loyalty, tradition, security, peace, inheritance, and our possessions. But our greatest possession is who we are to one another, and understanding we are the others. Each person that's in our orbit is the other side of self. It's not somebody that we need to fear or anything else, although sometimes they are, aren't they? Because of the way they behave. But if we all knew that, wouldn't we stop doing that and stop being someone else needs to fear? Yeah, it's understand as the 24th rune, the last rune of the Elder Futhark, Othala is telling us, guys, we've got to get it together. And we've got to understand who we are to one another and how important that is. So today the moon's in Aquarius. It went in last evening. It shifted from Capricorn into Aquarius. We're going to be pursuing intellectual interest today and engage with others to share our knowledge, particularly surrounding the virus, particularly surrounding the protesting that's going on. We need to stay connected. We need to stay informed about everything. So originality may define or influence your purpose and direction right now. However, there's a sesqui square with the sun and a semi-square with Mars, between the moon and the sun and moon and Mars, suggesting that some caution or awareness should be had over how you're perceived by others. Sometimes Mars gets away from us. And sometimes, when you have a moon, in struggling with the sun, then you've got some emotions versus, will going on. And so sometimes that doesn't actually work out very well. And sometimes you come across in a way that others don't appreciate. So just kind of be aware of how you're being perceived by others today, in case that the Mars influence, kind of gets you away from your balance and all of that. So now, let's go on to the human design thing before we close. So we know that the Jupiter has shifted from gate 60, which is limitation, into gate 61 of inner truth. Now, what we mean by gates, when you look at the human design chart, you're going to see a diagram of a body back in the background, and you're going to see a bunch of energy centers, little triangles, all throughout. And they're going to connect to one another or not. If they do, if one connects to the other, it creates a channel. And right now that channel, the only channel that's active is the channel of awareness, connecting the head with the Anya center and the first two triangles together. And it creates a channel of energy. And it represents the design of a thinker. So right now, we're trying to plan and strategize and understand the bigger picture of what's really going on here vis-a-vis the virus and vis-a-vis the protest and the outrage over how Black people are treated in this country by law enforcement and by everybody else, frankly. This is a bad situation, but we have right now the ability to access truth and express truth, and we just need to do that. Just truth, right? Otherwise, you blow it out of the water, basically. You don't want to give people that. The sun's placement at gate 45, line 2, is the particular gate is the gate of gathering together. It's also the 45th hexagram of the I Ching, gathering together. So you see how these sorts of things happen here. And then from there, you have 6 lines within each hexagram. And so it's going to actually get down to line 2, which is consensus. Okay, and so a consensus has been reached amongst the masses as to how we proceed, both in demanding social justice and change, and in staying safe and protected from the virus. We can mature in this as a country in this moment only if we pay attention to the lessons of history, which is the 26th gate or 26th hexagram, the taming power of the great. It's about learning the lessons of history. We need to pay attention. We've been dealing with this for so long, and now it's just simply reached a threshold where we can't have it anymore. I mean, we've reached the point of no return on this. So, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. We can't proceed along this path anymore. Although the path forward may be filled with obstacles, our shared resourcefulness, the moon's placement at gate 60, limitation. Anytime you share things, there's a little bit of a limitation there, but that's okay. Our shared resourcefulness and sense of shared responsibility, Mercury's placement at gate 39, obstruction, will see us through the dark days ahead, because we're going to have them. You're going to have the federal response, which is goofy as all get out, and I'm going to get to that here in a second. And it's not just goofy, it's shameful. there's a tweet right now. I've seen it. I saw it this morning. Uh, and I did all this stuff, Sunday or Saturday and Sunday. So I saw this tweet yesterday, right? Now, it's attacking there was a report on this strange new network that's up that seems to deal in questionable facts or questionable perceptions, and he's latched onto them, right? And basically, so now they're suggesting the 75-year-old man that was pushed back in Buffalo and hit his head and was bleeding out the ears, who was in serious but stable condition at the hospital over it, and now the two cops involved have been arrested and charged and all that, and so I guess, or fired or something. I don't know what happened to them. I think they've been arrested, but I don't know. I don't remember. Because there's so much. How do you keep track of which one, right? Because we know this one got arrested, maybe that one got arrested, but those haven't been arrested. It's that kind of thing, right? We don't know. It takes time. And so I think something happened along that front. But now what he's saying, he's suggesting that this 75-year-old man, who could have died from this, right? And we don't know. You get a head injury at that age, who knows? It may take time, right? You don't know what can happen to somebody when you do this to them. And so now the guy, suggesting he has a scanner, that he's scanning the police, that he's some kind of saboteur, I believed he called him. From the President of the United States, this is coming? Okay. So the rest of today's reading from the human design chart for today. The Grinch behind the razor wire fencing in the Oval Office will never share in our vision for a more perfect union. Venus's placement at gate 16 or hexagram 16 enthusiasm. We'll never see that. We'll never be part of that with us, believing that his brand will save him in the end. But, the brand's an illusion. See, and that's Mars at gate 22 or hexagram 22. It's grace, but the line itself is charm school. So, thinking that his charm will save him in the end. He doesn't have any, number one, because he sounds like a madman whenever he speaks. And so I don't know where that you find the charm there. There isn't. He's disrupting everything. And now he's suggesting this man's a saboteur. Really? He's an activist over the years, but with a Catholic Church group. Yeah, I don't even know. I think we've entered a realm, though, here of such delusion that everything is at risk now. And so, again, it's vital that we stay the course, that we stay true to the moment, that we do not compromise anything. We make sure we know what the facts are going forward. And we stay true to the purpose of no more violence, no more attacks on people. And whatever's going on with this guy in the Oval Office, I don't know why doctors aren't grabbing him up and taking him somewhere for evaluation. Likely because they already have. They already know. So why don't we know? Again, we need to stay on a shared path because there's so much deception going on right now. So many things it's like the elephant in plain sight. Nobody wants to see it. They all want to tell you it's not there. It's not convenient that it's there. And all of us are standing there going, yeah, but there's an elephant there. So I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know why they think we don't know. That's the most bizarre thing. People who act in plain sight while everyone's standing around going, what are you doing that for? We see you. We see you. We see how nuts you are. There's something wrong here. So, again, we need to think outside the box in terms of how we go forward, but at the same time, it needs to be based in truth. We cannot give the dark forces anything, right? No leg up by being able to point the finger at people now. So just remember that, and I know you will. because you all know what's at stake now. It's who we are. You know, today's rune Othala explains it perfectly. This is about who we are to one another and who we are in this massive group of people living here. You've got the entire world is worried about us and has been for the last 3.5 years. But since this has been going on, they're taking to the streets. And not just, you know, a couple hundred people here and there. In Bristol, they toppled a statue. They literally toppled it over because it represented slavery and something horrible. And they rolled it off the pier. And a policeman was like, yeah, well, that's what they did. I mean, you know, probably shouldn't have done it, but, you know, oh, well, that's what they wanted to do. It's what they felt. So that's fine. I mean, they all know where it is. It's right down there, right off the pier. But they don't need it. These symbols are coming down for a reason. People aren't going to take it anymore. And it's not just here. It's everywhere. So this is a movement now, a worldwide movement. Never been that before, has it? It's sad, though, we had to lose so many to get here. So thank you all for watching. Come back tomorrow. If you want to read the whole thing, just I'll link to it here below and check it out. And I'd love you to do that. And we'll talk again tomorrow. And I'm gonna close out now, and I'm gonna start the reading. So wait for that if you like. Anyhow, thanks so much for watching. Be good to yourself. Be good to one another, and blessed be.